So, good morning, all of you. Hope you are hearing me. Everyone can hear me. Please reply with yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Everyone, I had 28 members to reply, either in message or in by taking the mic on.
Yes, sir, we
Everyone,
can hear
are
you.
you listening?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Good morning.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
On the regular basis, okay. So, from tomorrow, I will regularly come and I just say you good morning, and then I will just make you say that are you listening to my voice or not? Okay. So, you have to particularly reply me with yes or no. Okay. So more members are coming. We'll start the class soon. So guys, from tomorrow, you all know that I follow or conduct that during the offline classes, I do wait for some 10 minutes. Okay. But since this is online classes, you do not have to travel. You do not have to move. So I can give you max to max 5 minutes. So everyone should be reporting to me by 11:05. Okay. So 11:05 hours, you should be positively here, or else you know what I will do. Okay. Because I want every attendance, okay, in my class on a very regular basis. Okay. Because I am the lone person to admit you here. Okay. So I'll just deny your admit if you are directly coming late by 11:15, 11:20. Okay. Max to max, I will directly go 11:05. Okay. So you should be regular on the very classes. Okay. Because it is just a 2 hour class. Okay. So, and obviously it's an online classes. So I cannot give you such a more instant of time. Okay. So everyone is okay with that? 11:05 hours. Everyone, I want yes from everyone.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Good. I want this type of response. Okay. Because people over here, obviously I have not met everyone because the Barwari class and the Saltora class have been mixed up. So out of this 32 members, probably I don't know that some of them I have known by their names, but many of you people might be not knowing me because I have not make you in the Barwari classes. I have attended very less number of sessions. Okay, so as you all told about that, my name is Japundris Kalita, and I will be taking your governance classes as of now. Okay, so I'll be starting with the governance topic. Okay, just before that, it will be just an announcement from the very uh, sorry, someone more is coming. Some more are coming. Okay. So it's just an announcement over here. Okay, one more thing I will tell you over here. Whenever I'm speaking and I am dictating something or I'm explaining some of the topics, okay, please kindly turn your mics off. Okay. On the basis of any type of queries, okay, if you want to clear your doubts or if you want to have any type of query, you can just put the mic on and then you can speak, or else you can just type a message. Okay, I will reply you then. Okay, but generally throughout the classes when you are not speaking, okay, please turn the mic off because it makes the sound of mine audible to you all, because this is a large meeting where maybe some around 50 members may join. Okay, so if you turn off your mic, then it will be very much suitable for everyone to hear and particularly follow me. Okay. So on the behalf of CSAP, okay, and the very management, I have some brief information that they told me that like you all have to visit the CSAP website, okay, for the daily current affairs. Okay. you have to visit the CSAP website for the daily current affairs and the answer writing practices. Okay. Even there is a reference number where you can join the WhatsApp groups. Okay. And even there is a CSAP application both available in the iOS and the Android mobile phone. Okay. To know about the various courses and the various offers. Okay. Because the three sessions over here will be the demo session. Okay. And after this demo session, you'll be totally be knowing about the various types of strategy that we as an institute follow, okay, to make you crack the very exam. Okay. Obviously, there is various types of sociology, anthropology optionals going on. Okay. Sociology optionals will be taken by Rajiv sir, okay, your director CSAP. So therefore, you may directly go to this very website to know about the various details. Okay. Also, that there are these three live classes. Okay. It may be three, it may be four. Okay. That depends upon the management. But we'll surely come to the very live classes. And after these live classes, since various number of people has got some network profit. Okay. Every people does not have got some due percentage network. Okay. Of the coverage because of their residential areas where they are living, the networks may not be very much prevalent. Okay. So the networks may not be very much of sharp. So therefore, they may not be able to join the classes, the live classes in well duration of time. So therefore, for them, we have got some of the recorded classes. Okay. So the recorded classes will be there. And this recorded classes will be sent to you. Okay. Or it can be uploaded in the very app. Therefore, we directly say you to install the very app from the to iOS or the very Android. Okay. So we will have the live demonstrations or we will have the live classes, and after that the recorded sessions will begin. After the recorded sessions, if you have got any type of doubt after following the recorded sessions in a due time, at the very end or probably by the weekend, okay, we will be arranging a live class. Okay, we'll be arranging a live classes. Someone has put the mic on. Nitismita, please put your mic off. And Nitismita, can you hear me? Nitismita Kalita. I think she left the mobile and went outside. Nitismita. Some disturbing sounds are coming. Anyways, so okay, no issue. You can do one thing, Nitishmita. Just leave once and join in again. Just leave once and join in again. I will admit with you. Okay. She left. Now the sound, because of her mic, the sound was coming. Anyways, so what I have said you that out of this, yes, Nitismita, is it done now? That's good. Can you hear Nitismita? Yes or no? You please reply. Okay, fine. So this will be the network issues that may be going on. That's not a big deal. So because of such things, okay, we'll be there. Therefore, arranging some of the video classes, which will be uploading the app, okay, and you will get the very information in your groups, WhatsApp groups, okay. So any type of doubt clearing session of the respective classes that I will be recording and giving it to you. So at that point of time, okay, whatever the doubts you will have in your classes with respect to your recorded classes, you will be getting a live interaction session with me, okay, where you can clear off your doubts, okay, where you can clear off your doubts. So when you are clearing off your doubts, you can ask me that 2-hour session, that whatever sessions may be, that session will be purely relied on the doubt clearing session. And this doubt clearing session, you can ask me any type of questions, and you can also, whatever, also you can have that, for example, if you are sending some of the very answer writing, okay, you can send it. I will share you my email ID. You can share it in my email ID, and I will directly check it and get back to you. Okay, with the respective type of classes that I will be taking on in the few time. Okay, so before that, so whenever I'll be going with my screen, I'll be just putting the video off. Okay, so first of all, we all know that we'll be going with the governance classes as of now. Okay, so I'll just be sharing my screen. Okay. See, this is the, please let me connect my pen. Okay, just a second. People will come in. Leave it. Anyway, you can see this is the governance syllabus which we will go on. Okay, this is the governance syllabus. The governance syllabus will consist of the various types of, supposedly, this government intervention in various sectors. Okay, the various things will be classified into such. One, the very first part is the government policy. In the government policies, we learn about the government policies and interventions in various sectors, the critical assessment, okay, see, the critical of centrally sponsored schemes, okay, then the rationalization of the CSS, okay, then analysis of the main scheme, then the NGOs will learn with, the SHGs will learn with, the societies, trust and cooperatives will learn with, the good governance will learn it, the e-governance will learn it, the citizen charters, accountability and transparency, and after that, we'll see about the various roles of the civil services, okay, and the various role of the civil servants with respect to this very. So what they do over there, we'll directly learn with this very type of governance syllabus. Okay. So with respective to the various forms, okay, what we'll study over this, okay, the first basic question comes, okay, is that people who want to write this syllabus, you can jot it down in a very rapid manner. I'll just make it zoom. Okay, just a second. Yeah. Please jot it down the syllabus so that it will be easier for you. Faster. So the government policies intervention. This is the whole syllabus of the governing. Okay, everyone is done with? Okay. Chalo. Okay. See. See. Okay, can you share see my screen, right? Everyone can see me? Okay, see the screen? Okay, fine. See, when I talk about governance, okay, when I talk about governance, we'll see that in Kautilya's Arthashastra, okay, he propounded the qualities of good governance by the ruling chief, and he defines it as that in the happiness of his subject lies his happiness. Means प्रजा के खुशी के लिए, प्रजा का खुशी के लिए, ओके, किंग जो वहां का राजा है, राजा का खुशी प्रजा के खुशी नहीं. In the happiness of his subject, what are the subjects of him? The subject of him is the praja. The subject of him is the citizen or the people whom he is directly leading. So therefore, we can see that Kautilya in his Arthashastra directly propounded the qualities of good governance by the ruling chief as that in the happiness of his subject lies the happiness of the king. And in their welfare, his welfare will be getting determined. So therefore, प्रजा का welfare, प्रजा का happiness, प्रजा का अगर कुछ भला हो, so at this point of time we can see that obviously the king will be very much efficient and the king will be very much deemed to be efficient in the very rule of his very countrymen. So अगर वहां पे कुछ रूल होना है, ओके, अगर प्रजा का कोई उन्नति करना है, ओके, अगर प्रजा का कोई वेलफेयर करना है, तो इन सब चीजों में एक किंग का हर टाइम हैप्पीनेस होना चाहिए. एक किंग को हैप्पीनेस तभी मिलेगा जब एक प्रजा का उन्नति हो. So therefore the Kautilya's Arthashastra clearly defined that in the happiness of his subject lies the happiness of the king, in the welfare of his subject lies the welfare of the king. Okay, and whatever else may not be considered good. मतलब इसके बावजूद अगर फॉर एग्जाम्पल फॉर द बेटरमेंट ऑफ हिम, उसका अपना खानदान के लिए, उसका अपना वंशवाद के लिए, उसका अपना डायनेस्टी के लिए, अगर उसका कंट्रीमैन के, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ ही डायरेक्टली डैमेजेस, इफ ही डायरेक्टली not make any type of welfare thing with respect to his countrymen, at that point of time he may not be called as a wonderful king. He may not be called as a king which has got some propounded qualities. So therefore we can see that the concept of good governance is associated with the capable and real administration in a democratic setup. So अगर democratic setup में एक good governance लाना है. So at this point of time, we'll be directly seeing that the concept of good governance is associated with the capitalism and the real administration in a democratic system. Okay? तो इसके लिए ये हम लोग को क्या करना है? इसके लिए we have to follow some type of good governance. Okay? So good governance is a very important phenomena with respected, okay, where the very king is very much of capable, okay, where the very king has got some good hold with the type of administration that he is directly rendering. Okay. At this point of time, we can see, okay, I'll just make the video on. Okay, now see. If I say about the form of governance as of now, okay, see, the governance is commonly defined as the exercise of power of authority by political leaders, okay, for the well-being of a country's citizens or the country's subjects. Here, the subjects that are mentioned in the Schedule 7 of the Indian Constitution are not saying about such. Okay, supposedly, the Schedule 7, where you can see about the union list, about the state list, about the concurrent list, about the residuary powers that is vested with the central government. Each type of government, because we know we have a three-tier government, each type of government will follow some form of governance to render every type of services to the citizens of this very country. Okay, to the citizens of this very country. So at this present instant of time, when I say about the governance, so if I clearly define about the form of governance, about the definition of governance, we can see that it is defined as the exercise of the power or authority by political leaders, okay, for the well-being of their country's citizens or the subjects. So in that point of time, we can see that everywhere, be it the king, be it any type of political leader, be it any ministers, be it any type of administrator, okay, everywhere we can see that everyone should be made accountable to the very people whom they are serving. So therefore, a good governance is very much essential with respect to each and every country, or to respective with each and every country or country. Okay. In this very perspective, we can see that governance is a very complex process, whereby some sectors of the society wield power and enact and promulgate public policies which directly affect the human and institutional interaction and economical and social development. Okay. In the very complex process, or in the very process, we can see that the sectors of the society, okay, the various sectors, be it the agricultural sector, be it the manufacturing sector, be it the service sector, okay, they wield some type of power. Every particular sector will directly have some of the power to manage their own affairs. So at this point of time, we can see that in each and every sector, the governance deemed to be very much of complex. Okay, ऐसा नहीं है ना कि like एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर वाले मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर को मैनेज करेंगे, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर वाले सर्विस सेक्टर को मैनेज करेंगे. So each and every sector will be getting some type of institutional setup. Okay, every type of thing. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर को कोर इंडस्ट्रीज में डिवाइड किया जाएंगे, उसके बाद विल डायरेक्टली डिवाइडिंग इनटू महारत्ना एंड मिनी रत्ना कंपनी. सर्विस सेक्टर्स को हम लोग डिवाइड करेंगे. द सर्विस सेक्टर्स व्हिच इज डायरेक्टली रेंडरिंग सर्विस. फॉर एग्जांपल, समवन इज रेंडरिंग सर्विस टू द प्राइवेट सेक्टर, समवन इज रेंडरिंग सर्विस टू द पब्लिक सेक्टर. तो हम लोग ये सब डिवाइड करेंगे. फिर एग्रीकल्चर को भी हम लोग डिवाइड करेंगे. कोई सेरिकल्चर में जाएंगे, ओके, देन कोई हॉर्टिकल्चर में जाएंगे, ओके, देन कोई पीसीकल्चर में जाएंगे. So everywhere we will directly segregate this type of institutional mechanism. So therefore, to manage or to provide some of the good governance in every type of sectors, we'll be directly saying that it's a very complex process, whereby some sectors of the society wield power and enact and promulgate some of the public policies, which will directly affect the human and the various types of interactions that is being taking in place with respect to the economical, with respect to the social development between the people and the very respective institutions. Okay, so this is another type, what we can see in this very type of governance. Okay, see, another phenomena of respective to this very governance thing is that this governance can only be done if there is a proper and effective utilization of resources that we have in our country, we have alongside our geographical boundaries. So therefore, every type of resources should be properly and effectively utilized if we have to directly follow some type of good governance. Okay. Supposedly, we in our country has got various number of natural resources, be it coal, mica, okay, aluminium, okay, gold. So we have got various types of resources. We have got some type of non-renewable resources also. We have got some type of renewable resources. So at this point of time, if we are not utilizing the proper efficiency use of the resources that is available free in the nature, if we are not tapping the very sunlight that is coming to us, if we are not using the tidal waves in the oceans and the seas, at that point of time, we will directly be seeing that we are not harnessing the various types of energies that are available to us in free. Okay, the tidal waves in the sea, the tidal waves in the ocean, okay, they are not costing us anything. कि हाँ 10 रुपया दे देता हूँ टाइडल वेव्स अभी आ जाओ हम लोग को चाहिए. नो, इट इज नॉट समथिंग लाइक दैट. 1000 रुपया दे देता हूँ, चलो आज टाइडल वेव मत आओ, तो उस दिन सी या ओशन पूरा शांति रहेगा. ऐसा तो नहीं होता. They will work according or they will come according to their own phenomena, according to their own time. किस टाइम में ज्यादा होगा, किसी टाइम में कम होगा, but they will surely come. So therefore, if we are not tapping the various tidal waves that is coming near the very coastal state, at that point of time, we are directly seeing that just because of the lack of governance, we are not properly utilizing the effective efficiency utilization of such type of tidal waves. आज हम लोग के पास कुछ नहीं है. आज हम लोग का वहां पे कुछ मैकेनिज्म नहीं है. हम लोग का गुड गवर्नेंस नहीं है. हम लोग का टोटल वहां पे क्या नहीं है, टोटल वहां पे कोई प्लान नहीं है. So therefore, due to this lack of governance mechanism, we are directly not rendering any type of process which will tap the energy situation over there in the tidal wave. So therefore, a good governance is a must in managing every type of resources, in managing every type of utilization of every type of resources that we can see in this very area. Okay. See, when I say about such type of things, we can see that nowadays, all this phenomena, the governance has got some type of three sectors. Okay, governance में हम लोग का three sectors में. One is the public sector, one is the private sector, and other is the civil society, that is the NGOs and the SHG, which we will learn in the later stages of time. इसको हम लोग totally define या broad elements में पढ़ेंगे. Okay, but as of now, you should properly know that the governance includes three sectors, be it the public sector, be it the private sector, and be it the civil society sector. Okay, the public sectors include what? The state actors and the state institutions. The private sectors includes what? The household and the companies owned by private individuals, such as Mukesh Ambani, Tata Birla. Okay, so all these areas we can see about it. And in the various types of civil society, the NGOs, the non-governmental organizations, okay, the civil society, okay, the self-help groups. So all these will directly render governance to each and every people in their respective fields. So public sector कैसे डिनोट करते हैं? पब्लिक सेक्टर का एक पॉलिसी है, तो वहां पे पब्लिक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव जाएंगे आपके घर पे, वहां पे घर पे जाके आपका सब वहां पे गवर्नेंस रेंडर मैकेनिज्म करेंगे. Supposedly, if I am directly taking you with the electricity bill, okay, एक आदमी, because this very institution is run by the very government or the very state actors, okay, ये सब का जो मैनेजमेंट है ये स्टेट एक्टर्स के पास. They have got some huge percentage of partnership with some type of private sector. But for example, if I am directly considering the APDCL as of now, the Assam Electricity Board, at this point of time, you can see that the very representative of the APDCL will come to your home, will read your meters, and will prepare the very bill. And even this man may come in again to supply you with the very type of bill, okay, through his mechanism. Because the APDCL का काम means your governance, the APDCL is providing you a good governance. आराम से मीटर्स में तुम्हारा जो मीटर रीडिंग है वो तुमने कितना कंज्यूम किया है, everything will be directly been noted. He will prepare the bill and he will render the bill to you at your home. घर पे आके वो अपना बिल देके जाते हैं. So what is this? The public sector and its institution is directly giving you a good governance where you have to directly go and pay. आजकल तो supposedly मान लो पेटीएम में सब जगह आ ही जाता है बिल. You can directly pay online. But still you can find the very hard copy of the bill coming to your home still as of present. Okay? वो बंदा जो रीडिंग लेके जाएगा वही आके डिलीवर करके आ जाएगा, वही आके डिलीवर करके जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो बिल थ्रू द इंडिया पोस्ट आएंगे. इंडिया पोस्ट के थ्रू से नहीं आते. देयर इज नो थर्ड पार्टी डायरेक्टली बीन एंगेज इन सच टाइप ऑफ गवर्नेंस. यहाँ पे गवर्नेंस किसके बीच में है? द सिटीजन, द पब्लिक एंड द वेरी एफिशिएंशियल कंपनी दैट इज द पब्लिक, पर्टिकुलर द असम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बोर्ड. तो इन दोनों के बीच में एक कॉर्पोरेशन है, इस दोनों के बीच में एक बॉन्डिंग है. They trust upon such, they will directly think that we should directly value the very trust that the citizens has upon. So इसीलिए ये आराम से यहाँ पे मीटर देखेंगे, फिर आके आराम से बिल दे के चला जाएगा. Okay. Then we are coming to the private sector. Okay. The private sector enterprises. Supposedly, you have rendering a service to a private sector. Okay. Supposedly a big private sector, छोटा मोटा का मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. You are rendering service to the very private sector. In this very private sector, okay, you are directly been hampered with some of the work. तुम्हारा वहां पे कुछ एक्सीडेंट हो जाता है या सपोजेडली बाहर ही कुछ एक्सीडेंट, सपोजेडली अभी कोविड के लिए तुम्हारा जान दाव पे है and you require some amount of money because you are the low grade owner in this particular family. So at this point of time, if the private authorities or if the private institution or the private sector is directly rendering benefits even after your demise to your family, at that point of time, you are showing some type of good governance to the people that is working and will build up the various types of enthusiasm that you have in this very company. So without the demolition of such type of services to your, one more is running. Okay. If the very private sector is not directly giving such type of benefits, such type of cooperation, okay, such type of things to the respected people who has been working in this very organization. So at this point of time, the private sector will be not showing good type of governance. So to properly show good governance, they will be rendering every type of services that they have to render to the people that are working under them. Okay. Coming to the civil society, be it the NGOs, be it the SHGs, that is the self-help sector. The civil society, supposedly, there is a work. Okay. Suppose anyone below the years of 14 years of age, okay, or anyone, they cannot be directly been going with any type of hazardous company or any type of hazardous industry. They could not be directly been fed with any type of child labor. Or any type of girl who is below 18, okay, or any type of boy who is below 21. If he gets or if he allows to be married, so at that point of time, the very organization or the civil society people or the very NGOs that is assigned a very prime role to safeguard the interests of the people or to the very people who are very much of juvenile. So at that point of time, if this NGO see such type of things hampering or such type of things occurring in their respective area, they will quickly respond and will directly revert it back to the respective police department for any type of further charge. So therefore, the public sector is though making the people feel very much of homely in this very society. The public sector is directly aiming to make this city very much of crime-free. But still, because of lack of populace in the very department, we can see that these people are not working as efficient as they thought. So therefore, these NGOs or the self-help groups is directly making the proportion of the people that is required in this very department, and they are working on such type of crime in the very society. So if they are seeing any type of people who are indulging in such type of in marrying the people who are very much of in tender age of 14 years, 15 years, the children who have not given the not going to schools and are working in various types of hazardous industries, at that point of time, the NGOs, okay, will support their very cause, okay, and they will directly reflect it with the very state or the very central government. Okay, and the very respective department, be it the police department, will take the necessary actions at that point of time. Okay, so therefore, we can see that with all these various sectors, be it the public sector, the private sector, and be it the various civil society, these three sectors are to say to be working in hand in the very process of governance. अगर ये तीनों एक साथ काम नहीं किया गया, अगर इन तीनों का काम और अगर ये तीनों के बीच में कोई कोऑपरेशन नहीं हो पाया, तो at that point of time we will fail as a country. We will fail as a good government. So therefore, the various sectors, be it the public, be it the private, be it the civil society, they should work hand in hand so as to provide the very people with the type of good governance that we prospectively aim. Okay. So therefore, the various things that is associated is that the good governance is understood through its 8 indicators or characters. Okay, मैंने गवर्नेंस बोल दिया, गुड गवर्नेंस देना चाहिए ये भी बोल दिया, लेकिन इस गुड गवर्नेंस को हम लोग किसके बेसिस पे आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे? Okay, fine, everyone can say, every government can say that we are rendering some type of good governance. But can we directly detect that what are the various characteristics or what are the various indicators which will directly say that yes, this present government is directly rendering some type of good governance to the very country? ये हम लोग कब बोल सकेंगे? It can only be said if we have some of the 8 indicators or 8 characteristics. Every government mechanism who are rendering services to the very public, every private organization who are rendering services to the very public, every civil society who are rendering services to the very public, ये सब जो render कर रहे services, we can only identify through these very 8 indicators which I will define as of now. The first one is participatory. Okay, the first one is the participatory indicator or participatory mechanism. See, every type of good governance essentially requires the participation of different sectors of the society. Okay, the management of this very society or the management of this highly complex society. Why I have said the term highly complex society? Because in our society, we have got people irrespective of religion. We have got people irrespective of caste. We have got people, okay, irrespective of every type of phenomenon, be it culture, okay, be it art, traditions, everywhere. You can see that there is vivid differentiality in our very community. In our vicinity, if we see, we can see that there are various peoples associated. Supposedly, in this very group, if I am directly pointing out with this very group meeting, we can see people coming from Upper Assam. We can see who have got some type of different traditions and culture with respect to the people from Lower Assam. We can see people from Karbi Anglong who are directly categorized under the tribals. We can see people from the very Bodoland, that is the 4 adjoining districts, where the maximum number of people are tribal. Okay, we can see people from the other castes. So therefore, when our society is so much of highly complex, okay, we do not want to bother each and other. Okay, कोई लोग सेपरेट होना चाहते हैं, कोई लोग इस स्टेट के बीच में रहना चाहते हैं, कोई इस कंट्री से सेपरेट होना चाहता है. So everywhere we have got various types of complex society. कोई किसी का निंदा करता है, कोई किसी का क्या करता है, कोई किसी का सपोर्ट करता है. ओके, कोई किसी एक कम्युनिटी का सपोर्ट करेंगे, कोई दूसरा कम्युनिटी का सपोर्ट नहीं करेंगे. So everywhere we can see there are various number of thoughts. There are various number of liberal thoughts. There are various number of people who are radically associated with some number of ideologies. So to manage all this type of highly complex society and their ever-growing needs, we require a participatory form of governance by diffusing the power in them. Okay, आज अगर हम लोग BTAD और BTC बोडोलैंड टेरिटोरियल काउंसिल नहीं बनाते थे, can you ever imagine that the relation between the people of Assam and the respective Bodoland people will be very much of fruit and sweeter? No, we cannot expect it. अगर हम लोग 2003-4 के टाइम में अगर हम लोग ये BTC नहीं बनाते, so the cooperation between the people would have been very much of sweet. Okay. अगर हम लोग कार्बी आंग्लोंग ऑटोनोमस काउंसिल नहीं बनाते, दिमा हासा ऑटोनोमस काउंसिल नहीं बनाते, the relations between the people over here in Assam and over there will be very much of huge conflict. Okay. सबको तो आजादी चाहिए होता है यहाँ पे. So therefore, the management of the highly complex society and the ever-growing need requires a participatory form of governance by diffusing some of the powers to them. अभी जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम लोग बीडीसी का चीफ इलेक्ट करते हैं, उन लोगों को थोड़ा पावर दिया हुआ है कि अपना जगह का जो चारों का डिस्ट्रिक्ट है उसमें तुम लोग और आप विद एनी टाइप ऑफ आप लोग के पॉलिसी में यहाँ हम लोग इंटरफेयर नहीं करेंगे. आप लोग मेन स्ट्रीम में आइए, आप लोग हथियार मत उठाइए स्टेट के अगेंस्ट से, आप लोग मेन स्ट्रीम में आइए. Of power to you, we will allocate some form of power to you. So upon this, these people directly came to participate in the form of government that what we can see as of now. आज यहाँ पे सब लोग आए हैं, सब मेन स्ट्रीम में आ गए हैं. क्यों आए हैं? Just because we can see that the government is rendering some type of good governance to the people, and therefore when these people will come and directly assemble together in a participatory type of democracy, we will see that the good governance will be also be rendered to such type of people who is directly residing on such areas who are demanding some type of freedom. So therefore, the good governance essentially requires the participation of different sectors of the society. सब सोसाइटी का पार्टिसिपेशन यहाँ पे जरूरी होता है. एक सोसाइटी अगर वहां पे सेपरेट हो जाए, एक सोसाइटी वहां पे अगर लेफ्ट आउट हो जाए, तो ऑब्वियसली दे विल गेट इनटू प्रॉब्लम. सो रिसेंटली व्हेन यू सी अबाउट इन द नेबरिंग कंट्री ऑफ नेपाल में क्या देखे थे 2016-17 के टाइम में? द माधेसी ओवर देयर वर डायरेक्टली प्रोटेस्टिंग अगेंस्ट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दैट हैज बीन प्रिपेयर्ड बाय द नेपाली गवर्नमेंट. ये माधेसी को वहां पे वेल रिप्रेजेंटेशन नहीं मिल रहा था. That means what? The different sectors of the society was not taken into consideration. तो इसीलिए वहां पे कंफ्लिक्ट शुरू हो गया, वहां पे लॉकडाउन हो गया, तो वहां पे बहुत सारा कर्फ्यू हो गया था, वहां पे लोगों को डिस्पर्स करने के लिए पुलिस को लाठीचार्ज करना पड़ा, बहुत लोगों का इनोसेंट लाइफ का वहां पे बहुत लोग मारे गए थे वहां पे. So therefore, since the sectors of the very economy or the very respective country is not rendering its services or not rendering its participation in the government, we can see the government is directly failing in providing some type of good governance, which is the essence of the participatory democracy. So therefore, for their ever-growing needs in a complex society like us, we can see that the participatory form of governance is very much essential, where we can directly diffuse some of the power to the respective people to come them to the main stage. हम लोग का टाइम में जब हम लोग 1982-1983 के टाइम में जब हम लोग ये पंचायत वाला एक्ट लाए थे, म्यूनिसिपैलिटीज वाला एक्ट लाए थे, उस टाइम भी हम लोग सोचे थे, उस टाइम क्या था? देयर वाज नो लीगलाइज्ड फॉर्म, देयर वाज नो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मैकेनिज्म फॉर द थ्री टायर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. To carry out this process of participation, we can see that through this very act, the decentralization of the powers started in a constitutional manner. Okay, and एक बार constitutional manner में हो गया, तो obviously the Supreme Court will come to the picture. Supreme Court बोलेगा, अगर by chance आज after the enactment of such type of act of पंचायत and the municipality, आज अगर government उन लोगों को abolish कर दे कि चलो कल से 3 टायर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट नहीं है, कल से 2 टायर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट ही होगा, सेंट्रल और स्टेट। ये 3 टायर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट पंचायत और म्यूनिसिपल को हम लोग एबॉलिश करते हैं। So at this point of time, the Supreme Court will come to the picture for the rescue of the 3 tier of government, of the rescue of the decentralization of power. क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट क्या है? सुप्रीम कोर्ट is the guardian of the constitution. Supreme Court is the legal interpreter of the constitutional mechanism. So the move for decentralization is a response to what? To the very participatory democracy, as it directly widens the base of participation and allows the very local government to exercise some of the governmental powers directly with their respective courts. ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट क्या होता है? जिला परिषद। हम लोग जानते हैं ना, पंचायत समिति होता है, दैट इज द वेरी लोकल लेवल, पंचायत लेवल। ओके, देन ब्लॉक लेवल पे आता है, देन उसके बाद आता है जिला लेवल, दैट इज द डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल। So through this very jila or through this very jila or the respective district, we can see upon the distribution of power, we can see the response of participation directly widens, and therefore it makes the governance reach to the very lower level of the society. Okay, एकदम grassroots level तक हम लोग अपना governance लेके जाना था. So therefore, the decentralization of power with allocation of powers to the local government was very much necessary at that point of time in a country like India, which has been directly been managed by highly complex societies. And for their ever-growing needs, we need the participation of the local people. इसका और एक good example है क्या? The नीति आयोग. We can see that in the earlier times, the planning commission was there, which directly made to prepare what? The 5-year plan for our country. The 5-year plan for our country was prepared by this very NITI Aayog, which was established back by the time of 1951. So ये क्या करते थे? ये कहते थे कि मैं यहाँ से पॉलिसी बनाऊंगा और पूरा इंडिया में यही पॉलिसी फॉलो किया जाएगा। That is the top to bottom approach. Top to bottom approach के तरह हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? The top to bottom approach was a very efficient phenomena that was done by the planning commission for years after this. लेकिन यहाँ पे participatory democracy का कोई रोल नहीं होता. We cannot see the participation of the people in this very type of planning commission. यहाँ पे बस जो ऊपर बैठे हैं वो लोग अपना पॉलिसीज बनाते हैं और वो पॉलिसीज डायरेक्टली शेयर किए जाते हैं थ्रू आउट द होल स्टेट्स ऑफ इंडिया. तो यहाँ पे पार्टिसिपेशन का लैग हो रहा है. So at this point of time, we can see that this Niti Aayog replaced the old planning commission, and this Niti Aayog directly focused on the delegation of powers or delegation of ideas and suggestions from the lower to the top level. और एक बार हम लोग ये lower level तक लेके गया तो मतलब क्या? That means the participation is very much of eminence in this Niti Aayog. तो अभी हम लोग सब स्टेट से, सब एकदम लोकल लेवल से हम लोग पूछेंगे कि चलो बताओ यहाँ पे क्या करना है, यहाँ पे क्या करना है. So therefore we'll assemble all their ideas and we'll prepare a legit plan for the participation or for the very welfare of the people. And this plan will be directly been assumed as the very plan that has been coming from the very bottom to the very top, which directly engulfs or which directly emancipates the participation of the society in plan making. So this is the very first indicator which is directly going with the type of participatory democracy. Second indicator is the rule of law. Okay. See, democracy is essentially the rule of law. Okay. It is through this very law that people expresses their will and exercise their sovereignty. आज हम लोग अपना sovereignty कैसे गेन करते हैं? आज हम लोग अपना जो एक्सप्रेशन है वो हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसे हम लोग दे रहे हैं? ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रूल ऑफ लॉ. इस लॉ के तहत हम लोग ये कर सकते हैं, और अगर नहीं किया गया तो एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम वी कैन डायरेक्टली मूव टू द वेरी सुप्रीम कोर्ट, टू द वेरी हाई कोर्ट, टू द वेरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट और एनी अदर कोर्ट इज वेरी कंट्री. Okay. So what we can see is that democracy is essentially the rule of law. Democracy एक law पे टिका हुआ है. Everywhere democracy. In democracy we have got various fundamental rights. We have got various BPSP. we have got various fundamental duties, we have got various legal rights. Okay, so everywhere we can see that democracy is essentially learned by the rule of law. तो ये रूल ऑफ लॉ क्या होता है? ये रूल ऑफ लॉ होता है एक ऐसा, और इन आवर वेरी कंट्री द रूल ऑफ लॉ इज व्हाट? द रूल ऑफ लॉ इज द सोवरेनिटी और द वेरी अपलिफ्टमेंट और द वेरी टाइप ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दैट वी हैव। ये जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ही है, ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ही हम लोग का एक लॉ, एंड इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को फॉलो करना ही, इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को हर टाइम अपहेल्ड करना ही हम लोग का रूल ऑफ लॉ। So therefore, this democracy is essentially what? The rule of law. And it is through this law that people expresses their will and exercise their very sovereignty. And sahi bola? Because see, if we directly disfollow our constitution, that means what? That means we are directly hindering the very superiority of our constitution. Supposedly, you and me, okay, we directly came in contact with some of the external agencies. मोसाद, चलो मोसाद छोड़ दो, मोसाद तो हम लोग का अच्छा है हम लोग के साथ। सपोजली आईएसआई मान लो, ओके, आईएसआई के साथ हम लोग एक टर्म्स में आ गए। ओके, सपोज यू एंड मी, यू फ्रॉम एनी ऑफ दिस 40-50 मेंबर्स, ओके, कोई एक कंटेक्ट में आ गया। ओके, supposedly even the boys can be honey trapped. Okay, supposedly even the girls can be honey trapped. Okay, suppose honey trapping के through से you people directly came in contact with the IS, and it is very phenomenal. You are directly sharing some of the very sensitive photos. Okay, यार में एकदम पागल हो गए हो सब लोग। Okay, so at this point of time वो बोलेंगे वहां से कि एक सेल्फी भेजो, फिर हम लोग यहाँ से एक सेल्फी भेजेंगे, तो वो बोलेंगे चलो तुम कहाँ पे हो, उस एरिया का सेल्फी भेजो, चलो एक वीडियो भेज दो। So at the point of time, he will send videos, he will send selfies. Okay, he will say that this party is moving to this party, because they will essentially target such people who have got at least some type of knowledge about running government, running state forces. So at this point of time, when they will get some of the information, they will directly plan an attack on this very country. They will directly plan to disrupt the very law and order situation of this very country. So at this point of time, what you are doing, you are not following the rule of law that is made to you or that is directly demanded from you through the very constitution. You are directly making the sovereignty of this country in some type of problem. So, though you have the freedom of right and expression, the freedom of right and expression is directly bounded with some of the restrictions. तुम्हारे पास फ्रीडम ऑफ राइट एंड एक्सप्रेशन है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि तुम बोलोगे कि भारत तेरे टुकड़े करेंगे। यू कैन नॉट से, ओके, भारत मरते दम तक टुकड़े करेंगे, भारत तेरे टुकड़े टुकड़े करेंगे, ऑल दिस टुकड़े टुकड़े वाला गैंग यू कैन नॉट डायरेक्टली बोलोगे। ओके, you have to say Bharat Mata ki Jai. Okay, you have to salute the national flag. You have to obey the very constitution. You cannot directly get in the lure of some money you are directly getting, or in the lure of some of the girl or some of the boys. You cannot directly go to directly say about various types of information with respect to your country, because the country does need it. The country has given you the very constitution. And the country directly expects you that this constitution might be duly followed up. So therefore, it is through the law that people exercise their will and exercise their sovereignty. Without this very law, without this constitution, no country can directly exercise a good sovereignty, a good type of will of their own resources. Okay, so the rule of law is very much of essential in every democratic country. मैं अभी नॉर्थ कोरिया का बात नहीं बोल रहा हूँ यहाँ पे, बिकॉज इट्स अ टोटल डिक्टेटरशिप, वहां पे रूल ऑफ लॉ का कोई और मीनिंग होता है। लेकिन व्हाट इज द रूल ऑफ लॉ इन अ डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री लाइक अस, इन अ डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री लाइक यूएसए, वी शुड प्रॉपरली नो दैट हियर थ्रू दिस रूल ऑफ लॉ द पीपल एक्सरसाइज देयर विल एंड दे एक्सरसाइज देयर सॉवरेनिटी एंड एनी अदर फिनोमेना विद रिस्पेक्ट टू अ पर्टिकुलर कंट्री। तो ये आता है सेकंड नंबर का इंडिकेटर वेयर वी कैन सी अबाउट द टाइप ऑफ गुड गवर्नेंस। थर्ड आता है क्या? effective and efficient. Okay, effective and efficient. See, the good governance requires that the institution, the processes, and the various actors could deliver and meet the necessities of the societies in a way that is very much available in the very society. Okay, when the actors, be it the public actors, be it the private actors, be it the civil society actors, okay, यहाँ पे मैंने अपना बॉलीवुड एक्टर्स का बात नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, यहाँ पे मैं बोल रहा हूँ द वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ एक्टर्स, बी द पब्लिक एक्टर्स, प्राइवेट एक्टर्स एंड द वेरी सिविल सोसाइटी एक्टर्स. Okay, so these very actors who are directly dealing with the needs of the society, they should make every type of resources that is available in the society much more effective and efficient. Supposedly, I will give you an example. When a civil society organization, okay, what, can you repeat the name of the third indicator? Effective and efficient. Effective and efficient. Okay. See, the very good governance, what I have told you, it requires that the various types of institutions, okay, the processes and the various actors, they want to deliver some of the very necessities of the society in a way that the resources are fully utilized. Okay. Suppose if I am giving you an example, suppose the public sector, okay, or the very government, they are rendering services such as, if I am directly considering the police department, okay. If recently what we can see that in Hosai, a very doctor was very much beaten by the very mob, okay. So at this point of time, if the police would have not found those criminals, those bastards, okay, in a very due frame of time, who have directly attacked a healthcare worker, okay, who have directly, because this directly case will be an attempt to murder, okay, they will directly be put or they will directly be tried under the attempt of murder, under the IPC, okay. Even a policeman was directly been beaten at this point of time. So, if the very police department would have less effective, ऐसा तो नहीं है कि हुजाई में पुलिस नहीं है, हुजाई में भी असम पुलिस का बहुत बड़ा कमांड है, वहां पे भी एक हुजाई इज अ पर्टिकुलर स्टेट एज ऑफ नाउ, वहां पे भी एक एसपी है, वहां पे भी एक रिजर्व बटालियन ऑफ द सीआरपीएफ रहता है, वहां पे भी एक रिजर्व बटालियन ऑफ द असम पुलिस रहता है. So at this present instant of time, if the police would have not shown the very due response in tackling or in capturing those criminals, we could have said, or the police would have been so much of lethargic that अरे रात को कौन जाएगा, सुबह देख लेंगे. So at this point of time, we could have said the police department would be less effective. Resource रहने के बाद भी वो लोग effectiveness कम करते हैं. और ये resources क्या है? Resources है the manpower. उनके पास manpower है because visa is a district. उनके पास गाड़ी है जिसमें लाइट है, ऐसा नहीं है कि रात को गाड़ी चल रही है, ओके. उनके पास टॉर्चेस है that we can find. They have got illumination lamps also, okay, where they can directly search. Okay, they have got proper equipment, ammunition, सब है उन लोग के पास. लेकिन फिर भी since they think that no, हम लोग सुबह देख लेंगे, सुबह उन लोग को पकड़ने में आसानी होगी. So at that point of time, the police would be said as a less effective. And what is the efficient? Supposedly सुबह उन लोग को पकड़ के लेके आए और already they have failed to be a very much effective. But since they have captured in the very morning, we can see the police is very much reluctant to produce them under the very CJM code, that is the Chief Judicial Magistrate Code. Okay, तो वहां पे उन लोग को मतलब लेके जाने के लिए यहाँ पे उन लोग को आलस आया कि चलो लेके जाएंगे थोड़े धीरे धीरे. Okay, so that means what? That means the police forces does not want to go with the various types of efficiency that they should directly render with the availability of resources. Effectiveness कहाँ पे कम हो गया? इफेक्टिवनेस, क्योंकि वो लोग रात में नहीं गया, दिन में सुबह का इंतजार किया और सुबह उन लोगों को पकड़ के लेके आए। पकड़ के लेके आने के बाद भी उन लोग का कोई वहां पे उन लोग का इंटरोगेशन नहीं, बस उन लोग को बिठा के रख दिया गया, ना इंटरोगेशन हुआ, ना उन लोग को सीजीएम कोर्ट में विदिन 24 आवर्स प्रोड्यूस किया, कुछ नहीं किया। दैट मीन्स व्हाट? दैट मीन्स पुलिस डज नॉट वांट टू रेंडर द जस्टिस टू द वेरी रेस्पेक्टिव डॉक्टर or to the very respective healthcare worker. So in that point of time, they are proving it to be what? They are proving it to be both disineffective and disefficient. But when or what the police did yesterday, we have all got the news, and at that point of time, I may salute the sample as of now, that they have rendered some of the effectiveness and efficiency in the respective case. They went out in the night, captured those culprits, okay, and put them behind bars within 24 hours by taking permission from the CJM court. And even the CM directly delivered a speech that I am personally monitoring the speech, monitoring the case, and they will soon directly come under the very justice delivery mechanism. So in that way, we can see that the good governance is directly making the effectiveness and efficiency of the respective governance mechanism. So therefore, we can see that the different actors that is acting or that is providing good governance should be very much of effective and efficient, okay, in the society with the available resources in their vicinity. अपना विसिनिटी में, अपना आजू बाजू, अपना सराउंडिंग्स में जो भी रिसोर्सेस उन लोग के पास है, in every resources they would directly go to tackle the type of resources that they have, so that these resources could be used in a very fruitful way that turns into very much of effective and efficient. So that is directly going with the third point. The fourth point is the transparency or transparent mechanism. Transparency or transparent mechanism. चलो अभी तक पूछ लेता हूं, in this very three what I have discussed, is everyone following? Do we have any doubts with respect to these three clauses? सबको समझ में आ रहा है? Everyone, are you understanding? People who are new, people who know me, I am least bothered about them because they are already well acquainted with me. People who are new to my class, is everyone following me? कोई दिक्कत आ रहा है? My pronunciation, my dialect, anything? Pakka? Everyone? I am telling everyone because all are attending. Everyone? Fine, fine, fine. Try, okay. Reply करते रहना थोड़ा बहुत because it will directly help me out, okay. Because at that point of time, I may directly know that you are understanding or not, okay. So that's the thing, okay. Fine, fine, fine. Anyway, the fourth one is the transparency. The heading of the fourth point, transparency. Transparency or transparent, being transparent. Transparency or being transparent. Fine? Shall I move? Okay. Heading of third indicator. Effective and efficient. Effective and efficient. You will get the notes, no worries over. Okay. For the point of time, you can directly only write the heading. Okay. Just write upper 8 indicators and just write the heading. What's the heading of the first and the second point? The second was the rule of law and the first was participatory. Participatory was the first one, second was the rule of law, third was the effective and efficient, and the fourth one will be going with transparent. Your name please, K. Boro. In shortcut, K. Boro. Your name? Pritina. Okay, okay. Because if I directly see the name, okay, I may remember in the next time, okay, because I hope here Some I can directly remember, not all, but many people are new over here. Okay, for me. So therefore, I may ask your name. In the very offline classes, पहला काम तो जाके मैं यही करता हूँ. Okay, I introduce myself and then I introduce you all. But यहाँ पे तो introduce करना ही क्या है? Everyone's name is coming upon. तो जिसका name यहाँ पे अच्छे से नहीं है, so I directly ask it. So that I may at least remember. Okay. Anyway, the next thing is transparency. Okay. See, transparency means that the people are open to the information, okay, regarding various types of decision-making process of the implementation of the various types of activities made by the government. Okay. Supposedly speak, I have already said you about the various types of participatory democracy. I have already said about the rule of law. Okay. I have already said about the effectiveness and efficiency. But when it comes to transparency, okay, when it comes to transparency, it directly goes with providing the proper information what the people need. Okay. Supposedly, if we in a society are living, okay, we have got for transparency the various media, be it the traditional media, be it the social media, okay, be it any type of media that we can see, be it the radios, okay, be it the be it various types of any other channels, okay, be it magazines and all. We are rendering some of the information with respect to the various types of process, with respect to the various types of implementation of the government in a very respective way. In this due process, suppose being a citizen of this very country, we should very much be aware that how many number of deaths are there in this very country with respect to COVID. Okay. What is the efficiency of Covaxin or Covishield? What will be the efficiency of Sputnik 5 from Russia? So everywhere, if there would have been lack of transparency, even after repeated attempts of the government, these vaccines would not have been taken by each and every individual of our country. Now we know that many people are directly getting the vaccines, directly booking their slots and getting some of the vaccines. And therefore, we can see that the various people who are affected after taking vaccine, are getting recovered well. उन लोग को इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता जो वैक्सीन लिया हुआ है, ठीक है, उन लोग का कोविड हो भी गया तो उन लोग को इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता. They will directly return to the mainstream within some period of time after directly visiting this quarantine. So this is what? This is directly demoralizing the death efficiency. यहाँ पर death rate जो होता है, ये death rate घटता है just because people are directly going for vaccine. अगर यहाँ पे ऐसे होता कि वैक्सीन तो 2 वैक्सीन ले लिया गया, 2 स्लॉट, 2 हम लोग को जैब ले लिया गया वैक्सीन का. Even after that, the people are dying in 90%, 80%, 90% people are dying after getting the second. Would people would directly been encouraged to go and take the vaccine? No, they will not. और ऊपर से जो गवर्नमेंट है वो भी जो डाटा है वो डाटा भी छुपा रहा है कि no, people have not died, this is directly a rumor, but actually the media people have directly reported that yes, the people are dying. They are directly going to the hospitals, they are directly making some of the news, they are directly leaking some of the information. Yes, people are dying, but the government agencies are directly hiding the type of death rate, okay, the type of recovery rate, every type of things are getting hidden up. So at the point of time, the government is not providing some type of good governance to the very people. And this is not a form of transparency that we are expecting from the very government. ये transparency नहीं है. Transparency is an indicator of good governance, means that people are open to information regarding various types of decision-making process and the implementation of the scheme. कुछ भी अगर गवर्नमेंट कर रहा है उस चीज का गवर्नमेंट को पब्लिक में आके उसको डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा. Without this very information, the government is not directly going up with any type of good governance. कल अगर ये जो हुजाई वाला इंसिडेंट हो गया, इसमें अगर डीजीपी भास्कर ज्योति मोहंत ऑफ असम, डीजीपी ऑफ असम, if he would not have come to the very big screen, ही अगर वो वहां अगर जाके अगर नहीं भी गया, तो फिर भी if he is not giving a proper bite that what is the various process going on with respect to the police department, क्या कर रहा है क्या नहीं कर रहा है, if it does not come in front of the media giving statement, at that point of time we can see that the very administrator is running from the type of good governance that should be provided to the very public. अगर इसमें अगर गवर्नमेंट का कोई स्पोक्स पर्सन, बी द हेल्थ मिनिस्टर, बी द चीफ मिनिस्टर, हम लोग का यहाँ पे तो चीफ मिनिस्टर ही सब बयान देता रहता है, ओके. लेकिन इफ आई एम सेइंग द स्पोक्स पर्सन ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, इफ ही इज नॉट कमिंग in the mainstream, or if he is not directly coming in front of the camera or in front of the big screen, if he is not giving a bite with respect to this incident at that point of time, with respect to the various types of policies, with respect to the various types of decisions or actions taken up by the government, if he is not directly saying it on a big screen, at that point of time, this government is not showing some form of good government. So therefore, the transparency is the main indicator of a good governance, where the various information regarding any type of action, regarding any type of decision, and their very implementation should be clearly discussed with respect to the very public. I am not telling that sensitive information should be shared upon. The sensitive information should not be shared upon in any how. But at least the information that has to be shared to the respective public, this must be shared upon so that the transparency is directly going upon with the type of good governance. Okay. So this is directly coming up with what? This is coming up with the fourth point, that is known as transparency. Okay. Coming to the responsiveness. Okay, the fifth one is response. Responsive. Coming to the responsiveness. The responsiveness of the people in a very, or the responsiveness of the various types of sectors, which I have told you, be it the private sector, be it the public sector, be it the civil society. If these very agencies or these very actors are not responding in an immediate manner or in a timely and appropriate manner, at this point of time, we could have said that the very agency is very much of unresponsive. And this unresponsiveness will directly lead to what? Will directly lead to some poor form of governance, which will directly lead to some of the quality governance that is rendered to the very public. अगर एक डिस्ट्रेस कॉल आया है इन 100, ओके, एक डिस्ट्रेस कॉल आया है, ओके, और एक एसओएस कॉल इज एन इमरजेंसी कॉल, और एक डिस्ट्रेस कॉल आया है इन 100, at for example around 1 or 2 a.m., 1 to a.m., okay, midnight, during this time period, when I am directly saying that there is a distress call coming to the very respective 100. The very 100, the very people associated with this 100, they will directly intimate it to the respective nearby police station, or the very Papa is the very patrol unit of the police that is patrolling directly in the night. So इस पेट्रोल यूनिट को ये लोग खबर देते हैं थ्रू कॉर्डलेस, थ्रू वायरलेस, थ्रू फोन, आजकल तो फोन हो गया है, ओके, फिर भी वायरलेस में मैसेज देते हैं, बट दिस पीपल आर टोटली अनरिस्पॉन्सिव, ओके. एक जगह पे गाड़ी लगा दिया है और उसके बाद पैर वैर उठा के ग्लास से ऐसे पैर उठा के बाहर आराम से सो रहा है, सीट वीट बैक करके, आजकल तो गाड़ी अच्छा भी हो गया है, ओके, तो सीट वीट बैक करके ऐसे पैर बाहर निकाल के सो रहा है, जिसको बोलते हैं घोड़े बेच के सोए. So at this point of time, when this repeated number of distress call is coming upon to the 100, and the 100 is contacting to the nearest Papa of this very respective area, so we can see that this very public actor, they are not directly responding it in a timely and an appropriate manner. They have pledged to directly render an immediate service to the very respective people, to the very respective public on which they are serving upon. Because they draw their salaries, they draw their particular income from the taxes paid by the very public. So therefore, the responsiveness of the very public enterprises or the very public sector institutions are very much untimely and inappropriate. Subha जब उसका नींद खुला, so at that point of time, he directly sees the various number of missed calls and messages. Though he is going to be suspended later upon instant of time, but the very girl who is directly making some type of distress call, the very guy who is making some type of distress call, he may directly get some type of injury or he may directly lose his life just because of the unresponsive nature of the respective police person. They may be in trouble just because the police have not reached in a timely manner. They have not directly reappropriated it in a timely manner. They have not directly responded in a timely and appropriate manner. If they would have responded in a timely and appropriate manner, maybe the very type of distress call, maybe the people that are directly faced with such type of circumstances could have been saved. So therefore, the responsiveness is the mechanism or is a very good indicator which directly says about that the government is directly giving us good governance or not. Okay, so this is directly going with the type of the fifth point, not fifth point, this is the sixth point, that is the responsiveness. Okay, the seventh one, okay, is equitable and inclusive. Okay, it directly goes with equitable and inclusive. When I say the thing called as equitable means what? Equity. Okay, irrespective of caste, gender, race, sex, okay, religion और place of birth जो हम लोग का आर्टिकल 14 में लिखा हुआ है, राइट टू इक्वालिटी. ओके, ये हम लोग का इक्विटी हो गया. एंड इंक्लूसिव मतलब भी वही है, irrespective of caste, gender, race, sex. Okay, fifth and sixth point. See, first one was the participatory, then was the rule of law. Okay, then effective and efficient. Okay, then fourth one is the transparent, fifth one is the responsiveness, sixth one is the equitable and inclusive. Okay, equitable and inclusive, responsiveness and equitable and inclusive. Done. Okay, so in this very thing that is equitable and inclusiveness, what I have told you that equitable and inclusiveness means that all the very members of the society, especially the most vulnerable ones or at the very grassroots level, must be taken into consideration in various types of policies. Suppose we have got various religion attached. Okay, we have got various communities attached. In every area, we can see that some of the communities are at a majority level and some of the communities are at the minority level. Okay, so this minority people will be considered as a less more or will be considered in less inclusiveness in every decision made in the very society. Okay, जहाँ पे 80% वाला एक कम्युनिटी हो और वहाँ पे वो कम्युनिटी मेजोरिटी में और जो 20% वाले हैं वो they are in minority. So in every policy decision, okay, whatever I have seen in my real-time experiences, every policy decision will not be inclusive to the very 20% of the minority. So वहाँ पे 80% को ज़्यादा focus किया जाएगा. So at this point of time, supposedly there is a problem with this respective minority community. Suppose इस minority community में कुछ attack हो गया. Minority community के एक लड़की या एक लड़का पे attack हो गया from the majority community. So at this point of time, if this minority community approaches the respective government, if they approaches the respective police station, their complaint would not be taken into due consideration. क्योंकि ये लोग minorities हैं और अगर minorities यहाँ पे minority का case यहाँ पे accept कर लिया गया तो majority गुस्सा हो जाएगा यहाँ पे और अगर majority गुस्सा हो गया तो वो कल आके मेरा खाना भी जला सकता है and I could be removed from this very post अगर मेरा majority के साथ मैं यहाँ पे नहीं रहा. So at this point of time, the equitable and inclusiveness is totally going in change. वी कैन नॉट सी एनी टाइप ऑफ इक्विटेबल एंड इंक्लूसिवनेस। यहाँ पे हम लोग ने क्या लिखा था, हम लोग का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो रूल ऑफ लॉ के तहत हम लोग क्या किए थे, that right to equality is the supreme thing that is to be mentioned in our very constitution and that should be followed by each and everyone. So right to equality is irrespective of sex, gender, caste, okay, race, sex or religion, everything, place of birth, कुछ भी हो, हम लोग का equity मेंटेन होना चाहिए। And inclusive, यहाँ पे सबका equal rights है। यहाँ पे अगर खाना खाना है तो मेजोरिटी भी यहाँ पे आएंगे और यहाँ पे माइनॉरिटी भी आ सकते हैं। यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है कि यहाँ पे बस मेजोरिटी का ही रोल है, यहाँ पे माइनॉरिटीज भी आ सकते हैं। द हेल्थ केयर बेनिफिट, ओके, द वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ गवर्नमेंट इंप्लीमेंटेशन प्रोग्राम जो गवर्नमेंट चला रहे हैं, ये सब भी कौन लाभ उठा सकता है, यहाँ पे मेजोरिटी भी लाभ उठा सकता है, यहाँ पे माइनॉरिटीज भी लाभ उठा सकता है। So at this point of time, we can see that equitable and inclusiveness is a proper indicator which directly says about the good performance. जिस एरिया में, जिस जगह पे ये काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, the equitable and inclusiveness, at that very location, we are directly rendering a very poor and very faulty type of governance to the respective public. यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? We are directly getting biased to one section of the society and directly making the other society or other section suffer. So दो community के बीच में we are directly making focus on the majority community and we are directly getting that this minority community should be kicked out from this very society. Okay, just like what has happened in the due time in 1990, where there is a mass exodus of the Kashmiri Pandits from the Kashmir Valley. So we at that point of time could not see the equity and inclusiveness of the people over there who have directly made the Kashmiri Pandits suffer till date. Even till date, these people would not have been rehabilitated well in their respective family, in their respective society. So therefore, the equitable and inclusiveness means that all the members of the society, especially the most vulnerable ones, or at the very grassroots levels, or at the very people who are at the minority, must be taken into consideration in every type of policy making. ऐसा नहीं है कि इस पॉलिसी में उन लोग का फायदा है और माइनॉरिटी का फायदा नहीं, हम लोग को दोनों का फायदा देखना पड़ेगा। At this point of time, this equitable and inclusiveness will directly come into picture, which will directly say that yes, this very institution or this very governmental institution, be it the public institution, be it the private sector institution, be it the local enterprises, be it the NGOs, HSGs, if they are directly not acting biased towards a particular section of society, we could directly encourage that yes, this society is totally equitable and inclusive. Without equitable and inclusive, no government could possess a sign of good governance. Okay, so this is directly going with this point. Next point is the accountability. Not accountability, consensus oriented. Consensus oriented. Okay, that is the seventh one. That is consensus oriented. CONSENSUS, consensus oriented. Okay. See, the governance is consensus oriented when decisions are made after taking into consideration the different viewpoints of the actors of the society. Okay. Every section of the society. Okay. मैंने क्या बोला था? यहाँ पे इक्विटेबल एंड इंक्लूसिव ये होना चाहिए। इसके बाद एक कंसेंसस होना चाहिए कि चलो आप लोग क्लेम कर रहे हैं कि आप लोग के बेसिस पे यहाँ पे इक्विटेबल और इंक्लूसिव सोसाइटी नहीं है, तो आइए अभी हम लोग एक साथ बात करते हैं। यहाँ पे मेजोरिटी भी रहेंगे, आप लोग का माइनॉरिटीज भी रहेंगे और हम लोग का गवर्नमेंट का एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन भी रहेंगे। सो इन दिस वेरी मीटिंग यू शुड डायरेक्टली गेट इनटू अ कंसेंसस। मेजॉरिटी और माइनॉरिटी का जो जो अपना अपना तर्क है ये सुन के एक कंसेंसस में आना चाहिए, एक कंसेंसस हम लोग को डेवलप करना चाहिए। बिकॉज मैकेनिज्म फॉर कंफ्लिक्ट रिजोल्यूशन मस्ट बी इन प्लेस, बिकॉज inevitability conflict that will arise from the competing interest of the actors will lead to the disharmony of the society. अगर एक consensus develop नहीं हो पाया, that means what? That means that harmony or the very law and order of that very respective society will directly harm the other. So therefore, अगर वहां पे एक consensus build up नहीं हो रहा है, तो both would have been called up. The representative of the government would come into practice and at that point of time a proper consensus should be built upon. that चलो ठीक है, आप लोग का इस सोसाइटी में, आप लोग का इस एरिया में, आप लोग मेजोरिटी, आप लोग माइनॉरिटी है, तो आप लोग का यहाँ पे जो रिजर्व सीट्स है फॉर दिस वेरियस नंबर ऑफ पोस्ट, ओके, यहाँ पे सम अराउंड आप लोग का मेजोरिटी है, तो मतलब 10 में से 6 लोग आपके रहेंगे और 4 लोग इनका रहेंगे, दैट इज द माइनॉरिटी. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन इन लोग का जगह होना चाहिए, बिकॉज यू आर इन मेजोरिटी, तुम लोग को सीट ज्यादा चाहिए होता है ऑब्वियसली, तो इन लोग का कम है, तो ठीक है, इन लोग का 4 से ही काम चल जाएगा. सो देयर शुड बी अ कंसेंसस ओरिएंटेड. अगर माइनॉरिटी वाला क्लेम करने लगे कि नहीं, ये लोग को मेजोरिटी है, इन लोग को बस 1 सीट दो, बाकी 9 का 9 सीट हम लोग को दो, तो दैट इज नॉट अ कंसेंसस. ये मेजोरिटी भी एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे, हम लोग का आदमी ज्यादा है, हम लोग को सीट ज्यादा चाहिए. So therefore, obviously, we can see that there is to be a consensus created so as to run our government, our governance in a very lucid manner. So therefore, governance is consensus oriented when decisions are made after taking into consideration the different viewpoints of the actors of the society. अगर ये सब viewpoints नहीं देंगे तो हम लोग consensus तक कैसे आएंगे? नहीं आ सकेंगे. So therefore, the governance is consensus oriented when decisions of this are made taking into consideration various types of viewpoints that has been put forwarded by the majority or the minority committee. और इस मेजोरिटी माइनॉरिटी कमिटी में ये तर्क लेके हम लोग एक कंसेंसस क्रिएट करेंगे. सपोजेटली फॉर एग्जांपल, जो हम लोग का मिजोरम में हुआ, प्रोबेबली समवन हैज माइट, जो हम मेरा इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी का क्लास किया था, दे शुड ऑलरेडी नो, बट फॉर द पीपल हु हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड दिस, इन मिजोरम there is a huge terror group, okay, who is presently running the very government, that is the MNF, that is the Mizo National Front. Okay, अभी उनका ही सरकार चल रहा है मिजोरम में, लेकिन पहले this was a terrorist organization. Okay, so in this Mizoram there is a very popular leader who was known as Lal Denga. Okay, ये लाल देंगा जो थे ना, obviously at that point of time Mizoram was a part of Assam and Mizoram was not given due importance by even the Indian government, even the Assam government. तो उन लोग का गुस्सा जायज था, लेकिन फिर भी they have fought a war with the very state actors for a period of some around 20 to 25 years. 20 साल तक वो लोग ने जंग लड़ा. After this very instant of time, when this very government of India wants to create a consensus with respect to the MNF, they brought into practice or they brought into a meeting with respect to the Indian government. मिजोरम का जो गवर्नमेंट था, ओके, जो मिजोरम का गवर्नमेंट था उस टाइम एक सीएम था, उनका नाम था लाल थानावाला. So the government of India, the government of Mizoram headed by Lal Thanawala and Lal Denga, that is the MNF, terrorist leader of the MNF, ये तीनों आके एक कंसेंसस डेवलप किया. ओके, ये तीनों ने तर्क वितर्क करके एक कंसेंसस डेवलप किया कि फ्रॉम नाउ ऑन मिजोरम would be the best example of a peace state where there should not be any type of violence, where there should not be any type of terrorist outfits in this very land. गवर्नमेंट ने भी ये बोला, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आल्सो डायरेक्टली सेड अबाउट सच थिंग कि आप लोग टॉक्स पे आइए, जैसे हम लोग आजकल परेश बरुआ को बोलते रहते, कम इन टॉक्स, कम इन टॉक्स, कम इन टॉक्स. ओके, फिर एनएससीएम खापलांग को भी बोलते रहते हैं, नेशनल सोशलिस्ट काउंसिल ऑफ नागालैंड को, जो ग्रेटर नागालैंड चाहते हैं, उनको भी बोलते रहते कम इन टॉक्स, कम इन टॉक्स, कम इन टॉक्स. ओके, तो उस टाइम भी हम लोग लाल देंगा को बोले थे कम इन टॉक्स, तो उसने एक्सेप्ट किया था. एंड एक्सेप्ट करके देयर वाज अ 3-party agreement or a consensus developed between the 3 parties, that is the government of India, government of Mizoram headed by Lal Thanawala, and the MNF party or the terrorist outfit headed by Lal Denga. तो उस टाइम since the government of India directly proposed that ठीक है, आप लोग को एक स्टेट को दे, will you be considered as a state directly separated out from the state of Assam? You will be directly granted a state. Okay, and you will be given the chief minister of this respective state. And this very argument of the central government was duly accepted by a very heroic leader, and this is the very leader this is the very CM which I have never seen in my lifetime. Such a heroic deed he has done. आजकल सीएम का कुर्सी कौन छोड़ना चाहते हैं? कोई कोई तो आउट ऑफ प्रेशर छोड़ देते हैं. लेकिन ऐसे कल अगर मान लो परेश बरुआ आके बोल दे कि मैं सीएम बनना चाहता हूं, तो थोड़ी ना दे देंगे, कोई नहीं देगा। ही विल नेवर लीव इट। अभी अभी तो मिला है, कैसे छोड़ के। So at this point of time, this man directly said that I will leave the post of the CM, I will vacate the post of the CM just for the peacefulness to return to my very state. मेरा जो एरिया है, मेरा जो जगह है, उस जगह का शांति के लिए, समृद्धि के लिए, I am just leaving my CM post. And this Lal Thanawala stepped down to be the CM. Lal Denga became the CM, and the 20-25 years of violence directly got vanished in just a single instant of time by such a heroic deed by Lal Thanawala. उस टाइम से till today, have you heard any incident of violence or any incident of this type of terrorist activities in Mizoram? No, you cannot hear. बाकी सब जगह सुनोगे तुम, अरुणाचल में सुनोगे, नागालैंड में सुनोगे, मणिपुर में तो कोई सवाल ही नहीं है, असम में तो सुनते ही रहते हो, मेघालय में सुनोगे, त्रिपुरा में सुनोगे, लेकिन यू कैन सी दैट द वेरी पीसफुल स्टेट amongst the northeastern states is Mizoram, and it's the finest example that how the northeast insurgency could be tackled upon. ये हम लोग का एक रोल मॉडल स्टेट, ये रोल मॉडल है, बिकॉज लाल दंगा जैसा एक क्रिमिनल, लाल दंगा जैसा एक टेररिस्ट, ये मेन स्ट्रीम में आ गया था। ये मेन स्ट्रीम में आके ही इज डायरेक्टली यूटिलाइजिंग द वेरी पॉलिसीज ऑफ द डेमोक्रेसी। He has made every people literate over there. He has made these people, even वहां पे जाएंगे ना, तो एक दुकानदार भी वहां पे इंग्लिश बोलता है। No doubt, I have been saying that there is a huge influence of the Christian missionaries over there. I agree. But because of the welfare of the people, the very present government has done many things with respect for the welfare of the very people. And during the time of Lal Denga, this is a very peaceful state. After Lal Denga became the chief minister. So therefore, इन तीनों के बीच में जो कंसेंसस है, अगर बाई चांस वहां पे लाल थानावाला एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते कि नो, आई विल नॉट लीव यू द पोस्ट ऑफ द सीएम, अभी अभी तो बना हूं, कैसे छोड़ दूं, दिस इज तुरुला, द सीएम पोस्ट इज तुरुला, तो ये कैसे छोड़ दूं हम लोग। So at this point of time, we are directly saying that the consensus could not have been created if Lal Thanawala would not have stepped down as a CM. So therefore, this governance mechanism, this good governance mechanism could only be delivered to the very people of Mizoram because there was a good consensus created between the three parties, being the government of India, being the government of Mizoram, and being the MNF, that is the Mizo National Front. तो इस कंसेंसस को क्रिएट करके ही वहां पे शांति आया, वहां पे समृद्धि आया, एंड देयरफॉर मिजोरम इज अ फार मोर पीसफुल स्टेट एज कंपेयर टू द अदर नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट एज ऑफ। तो यहाँ पे क्या हुआ था, कंसेंसस ओरिएंटेड पीपल, ओके, एवरी टाइप ऑफ थिंग देयर शुड बी अ पॉजिटिव रेस्पॉन्स। तो ये रहा 7th पॉइंट। विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द 8th पॉइंट, दैट इज अकाउंटेबिलिटी। व्हाट इज अकाउंटेबिलिटी? Accountability basically means answerability or response for one's action. Okay, तुम अगर कुछ किए हो तो उसका रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी तुम्हें लेना पड़ेगा। Okay, you cannot directly say that ये तो मेरा टाइम पे नहीं हुआ था। Okay, though you are in charge, ये तो मेरा टाइम पे नहीं हुआ था, ठीक है, ये उनके टाइम पे हुआ था, उन्होंने ये काम किया था, मैं तो वहां पे गया ही नहीं था सर, तो मैं कैसे एक्सेप्ट कर लूं? So accountability means answerability or responsibility for one's action. And therefore, this accountability is directly based on the principle that every person or group is responsible for their actions, and more especially when their acts affect public interest. Agar your action is directly hampering the public interest, agar your very action is directly not rendering good services to the public, at that point of time, your very action is very liable to be questioned. And therefore, the accountability, that is means answerability or responsibility for one's action, should be very much a good phenomena when you are directly going with good government. अगर एक government एक चीज का रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं लेते और उस रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी का और उस डायरेक्टली थिंग का दूसरे सरकार पे डाल दिया कि नो द earlier government has done something like this and therefore we are directly managing it but still we cannot do so. तुम पहले responsibility लेना सीखो and at that point of time when you will directly take the responsibility, at that point of time people will directly understand you, people will directly believe on you. Yes, this is the person who has taken responsibility and if he is not doing something, he is directly liable to be answerable on the behalf of the public. अपना भरोसा है उन पे, लेकिन वो अगर नहीं किया तो हम लोग उनको सवाल करेंगे एंड ही शुड बी वेरी मच आंसरेबल. और अगर उन्होंने आंसर नहीं किया दैट मींस व्हाट, ही इज शोइंग लैक ऑफ अकाउंटेबिलिटी टू द वेरी पब्लिक. जैसे यू हैव स्टडीड इन पॉलिटिक्स probably that in article 75 it directly says that the council of ministers are directly accountable to the lower house of the parliament. The council of ministers are directly accountable to the house of the people. House of the people क्या है? The Lok Sabha. That is the lower house of the parliament. So the council of ministers along with the prime minister is directly accountable to the parliament, lower house of the parliament. That means what? That means जितना भी MPs है, ओके, सबको एक इंफॉर्मेशन देना पड़ेगा. अभी जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल हम एक बजट ला रहे हैं, इस बजट में क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है, ओके, किस रिसोर्स में कितना एलोकेशन दिया है, डिफेंस में कितना एलोकेशन है, साइंस एंड टेक में कितना है, हेल्थ में कितना एलोकेशन है, एवरीथिंग इट डायरेक्टली गेट्स डिस्कस्ड इन द लोअर हाउस ऑफ द पार्लियामेंट और ये सबके सामने होता है. दैट मीन्स व्हाट? दैट मीन्स और अगर वहां पे कोई क्वेश्चन वहां पे होता है तो वहां पे बहुत सारा चीज होता है. ओके, प्रोबेबली तुम लोग का पॉलिटिक्स हुआ है नहीं पता नहीं, स्टेयर क्वेश्चन होता है, अनस्टेयर्ड क्वेश्चन होता है, ओके, मोशंस होता है, ओके, कॉलिंग अटेंशन मोशंस होता है, बहुत सारा चीज होता है, ओके, टोकन कट मोशंस होता है, ओके. सो देयर आर वेरियस फिनोमेना वेयर यू कैन डायरेक्टली आस्क ड्यूरिंग द क्वेश्चन आवर एंड द वेरी member of the parliament who is directly responsible for the government, he should be directly been answering all this type of questions. That means what? That means everywhere you can see there is accountability. Without accountability, a good government does not work. And everyone will fail to provide some type of good governance. So therefore, accountability is a must, and accountability is directly in relation with the answerability or responsibility for one's action that he is performing for the betterment of the society. If that action is not for the betterment of the society, he should also be answerable. If that action is for the betterment of the society also, at that point of time also he should be answerable. लेकिन अगर उसका कोई away from his very post, if he directly sees that no, I will not answer to the media, I will not answer to the public, at that point of time he is directly running from the very type of answer that has to be given to the very public. लेकिन जब कोई एक अच्छा काम हो जाता है उस टाइम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेना आ जाता है कि हाँ ओके फाइन, आई वाज द पर्सन हु इनिशिएटेड दिस, आई वाज द पर्सन हु डायरेक्टली कोऑर्डिनेटेड दिस. तो उस टाइम तो सब ले लेंगे. इसके टाइम में जब तुम्हारा फेलियर हो उस टाइम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कौन लेगा? एट This responsibility is directly known as the accountability or answerability, and this is the great phenomena with respect to provide with some type of good governance to the very public. Understood these 8 factors? Everyone, do you have any doubts? Everyone, do you have any doubts?
No, sir.
Everyone, I'm asking.
No, sir.
Clearly understood? Okay. So see, so these are the various processes, okay, which directly says about the type of good governance, okay, about the type of various indicators through which we could directly go with the form of governance that we see in our society. Okay, everywhere we can see such type of governance that is taking place. But the thing is that here we should directly obey with the various types of factors that is associated with the good governance, and we should directly follow it to the 10%. If the 10% of these things is directly been promulgated to the very public, then in every forum we can see that a good governance is a must thing with respect to this very governance mechanism. Okay. So in short, what I am saying that this good, okay, if I directly earmark this good, okay, so the good governance promotes some gender equality. Okay. It also sustains the environment. Okay. It also sustains the environment. It enables the citizens to exercise personal freedom. Okay. And it provides tools to reduce poverty. It provides tools to reduce deprivation. It provides tools to eliminate the fear and violence in the very society. Okay. If I give the examples of such, when I say good governance promotes gender equality, what does it mean? I've said you with an indicator that there is an equitable and inclusive phenomena of good governance. So therefore, the good governance is directly upholding the very concept of what? Gender equality. अगर जेंडर इक्वलिटी कब होगा? जेंडर इक्वलिटी तभी होगा जब हम लोग इक्विटेबल और इंक्लूसिवनेस रखेंगे एक गवर्नमेंट मैकेनिज्म. ओके. उसके बाद it directly enables the citizens to exercise personal freedom. तो पर्सनल फ्रीडम मतलब क्या? हम लोग ओपिनियंस लेंगे. ओके, वी आर डायरेक्टली गोइंग विद द ओपिनियंस, क्योंकि वहां पे ओपिनियंस के बाद एक कंसेंसस क्रिएट होंगे. So therefore, the opinions of each and every individual in a respective society is very much essential. इसीलिए हम लोगों ने नीति आयोग शुरू किया. That is the bottom to top approach. लोकल गवर्नमेंट का बात सुनेंगे, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट फिर लोकल गवर्नमेंट का बात सुन के सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को फॉरवर्ड करेंगे. So therefore, there should be a consensus built among these three. So therefore, it enables citizens to exercise their personal freedom. Okay. उसके बाद it provides tools to reduce poverty, deprivation, fear, and etc. Okay. अगर मैं बोलूं यहाँ पे deprivation में वही आएगा equitable and inclusive. To provide or deprive the fear and violence में क्या होता है? अगर एक proper, जैसे for example, if the police directly responded, okay, in a, जैसे मैंने बोला था responsiveness, if they would have responded in a very fair way, if they would responded in a very immediate way to the very distress call that is coming to him or her, to the respective police officer, at that point of time, they could have been saved by the respective police person. So उस टाइम इसलिए हम लोग क्या? इसलिए हम लोग आज गुंडे से ज्यादा डरते हैं. पुलिस से इतना हम लोग नहीं डरते. इसलिए तो इतना वायलेंस होता रहता है. पुलिस को लाठी चलाना पड़ता है. पुलिस से हम लोग इतना नहीं डरते, लेकिन गुंडे से ज्यादा डरते हैं. अगर पुलिस अपना काम एफिशिएंटली करते तो पुलिस से हम लोग बहुत डरते. तब हम लोग गुंडे से नहीं डरते. तब हम लोग क्या करते? गुंडे को बोलते रुक, पुलिस को बुला. तो पुलिस 2 सेकंड में वहां पे हाथी जाए. लेकिन हम लोग को पता है कि 2 सेकंड तो लगेगा नहीं, कम से कम 2 घंटा, कम से कम 2 दिन भी लग सकता है कभी कभी. तो इसीलिए वी डायरेक्टली फियर आवर cause, because we directly fear because they are not rendering the appropriate services that we should demand of them. So the responsiveness of the police forces is very much. And therefore, if we are providing a good respondent mechanism, so at that point of time, the good governance will directly rely upon what? Will directly provide tools to make this very society free from some form of crime and violence. Okay. Agar, for example, the recently happened incident in the Huzai court or Huzai hospital. If they would have got a fear, okay, अगर हम लोग जो क्राइम करते हैं, जो रेपिस्ट है, okay, जो हम लोग का और कुछ क्राइम करने वाले हैं, okay, if we would have given them an immediate justice, 6 महीना के अंदर अंदर जस्टिस खत्म, यहाँ पे और तुम ज्यादा कुछ कर नहीं सकते. 1 साल के, मान लो ठीक है 6 महीना छोड़ दो, इतना ह्यूज पॉपुलेशन है, 1 साल के अंदर अंदर सब खत्म हो जाएगा. If we would have just made this happen, so the people who are doing such number of crimes would have thought 100 times, 1000 times to do such type of crime, क्योंकि उन लोगों को पता होता है कि एक बार पकड़ा गया तो विदिन 1 साल के बाद मेरे को फांसी दिया जाएगा. But we got delayed. This rapist would even go for the president's pardon. Presidential pardon तक जाते हैं ये लोग. So just think of the condition of our judiciary mechanism. In a good governance country, in a good responsive country, these people would have been treated in a very rapid way. इन लोगों को क्या करना है, बस हो गया तो हो गया, इन लोगों का काम है, थोड़ा सवाल जवाब होना चाहिए, इतना है, बस इन लोगों का काम खत्म है, इन लोगों को डायरेक्ट कहीं पे भी अपील किया नहीं किया जाएगा. उस टाइम क्या होता, अगर ये सब करते तो उस टाइम ये जो क्रिमिनल्स है, ये जो कल्पिट्स है, उन लोग के अंदर फियर पैदा होता, उन लोग का रेजिस्टेंस पैदा होता, नहीं नहीं ये नहीं करना चाहिए, ये करेंगे तो ये हो जाएगा. बट बिकॉज वी हैव गॉट टूल्स but we are not using it properly, therefore we are seeing mass number of crimes happening on this very time. Okay, so therefore the good governance is thus a function of installation of positive virtues of the administration and elimination of various types of dysfunctionalities in our society. It makes the government very much of effective, okay, credible and legitimate in the administrative system, okay, and it makes the very government citizen friendly, okay, value caring and various people to people connectivity. अगर हम लोग गुड गवर्नेंस सब जगह पे फैला दिया जाए, गुड गवर्नेंस को हम लोग सब जगह में अप्लाई कर दिया जाए, so at a point of time we can see that it directly encompasses various types of positive virtues of the administration. It directly encompasses a citizen-friendly attitude, and people will connect more and more towards the people who are rendering such type of good governance. Okay, so this is the total overview of what is governance, what are the various indicators of governance, okay, how can we determine governance, and what are the various aspects of the governance with respect to some of the proper examples. Okay, so this is the overview of what we directly call it as a governance and a governance mechanism. Okay, for today, you just write what is governance. In the indicators, you will get in the notes, but just write the definition of what is governance. Right. Governance is commonly defined as the exercise of power or authority is commonly defined as the exercise of power or authority.
Sir, can you repeat again?
Governance is commonly defined as the exercise of power or authority. Is commonly defined as the exercise of power or authority by political leaders for the well-being of the country's citizens or subjects. For the well-being of the country's citizens or subjects. For the well-being of the country's citizens or subjects. It is the complex process. Whereby some sectors of the society, wield power and enact and promulgate.
Sorry, sir. Some sectors of the society.
Some sectors of the society wield, W-I-E-L-D, wield power and enact and promulgate public policies which directly affect which directly affect which directly affect human and institutional interactions, which directly affect human and institutional interactions,
Sir, human and
institutional interactions, human and institutional interactions, and economic and social development. And economic and social development. And economic and social development. Okay?
sir, can you repeat the slide?
Complex process whereby some sectors of the society wield power and enact and promulgate public policies which directly affect human and institutional interaction and economic and social development. Which directly affect human and institutional interactions and economic and social development. Okay? Okay. Chalo, we'll meet you tomorrow with the same timing. Serve for the well-being of the country, citizen, or subject. For the country's well-being of the country's citizens or subjects. SUBJECTS, subject. Okay. We'll see you all tomorrow with the same timing. Okay. So willpower and enact and promulgate public policies. Willpower and enact and promulgate public policies which directly affect human and institutional interactions, willpower and enact and promulgate public policies which directly affect human and institutional interactions and economic and social development. Okay? So this will be the total of this very thing. Okay. What 8th indicator heading? Accountability. Vishal. Accountability. Okay. So we'll not meet tomorrow with the same timing. Do try to come with the stipulated time. Okay. I don't want to be so much of so strictness in this very time because I know there will be very much network problems associated with such, because at least until the live classes will be going on, okay, please try to be on time because it will directly help me to give you some of the best and efficient services over here. Okay, because I really get annoyed when someone tries to interrupt me in the between. Okay, so therefore, please, I directly plead you to directly come everyone on time. Okay, just by 11:05. Okay, so thank you all. Hope you have liked this class. Okay, so please get me in touch if you have any type of doubts. Okay, so be safe and we'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, chalo, Jai Hind.